And we are live. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Oh, gotta fly in here. We are day 45 of 365 days of guitar practice. And if you are brand new, I'm Jay Wills, midlife dude getting back into playing guitar and learning how to play guitar more specifically from scratch after 22 years. How this normally rolls, if you are brand new and this is your first video, welcome, number one. Watching me struggle my way to learning how to play guitar and also letting me torture your eardrums for the next year, because we're doing this for a minimum of 30 minutes every single day for 365 days. So what we normally do is I come up with a little creation on an intro, which I'm still working on. It's always a little bumpy when I add new stuff in. And then I hop on to the dashboard of the YouTube channel and I go through any comments that you may have left. And any of you kind folks who are throwing comments out there and banging on that keyboard, I greatly appreciate you for that. I always go through the comments, and if you throw a comment out, I will acknowledge it the next day in the next video. So, anywho, with that, let's fire up the old Dark Terror. We're going to be going through that tonight. But if you are brand new, I name all my guitars. This is the Tele. It doesn't necessarily have a name, it's just the Tele. So, it's a Tele FMT, Flame Maple Top Burst, double humbucker. Beautiful guitar, sounds awesome most of the time if I haven't been fiddling around with the tuning, but it usually sounds pretty good. Let's see how she sounds. We are fresh off of, I am probably sunburnt to no end. It was nice and hot. There were no trees on this job site today when I was looking, so I feel like I'm glowing. So anywho, with that, let's get my little stand situated. Oh, I need more volume. It's close. We'll check that tuning here in a little bit, but it's close. It's close enough for the intro. Welcome back to the channel, all of you who are following me along. Get some comments real fast, and then it's Triad Tuesday. Almost forgot. Second Triad Tuesday, and that moth that's flying around that decided we may have to get up and take care of him here momentarily. All right, so hit some comments real quick, and then I have a fun little thing I kind of experimented with for our second Triad Tuesday. So with that, let me hit the old YouTube dashboard. Fire that up, check out any comments for today. All right, got a few comments. Let's see here. Bum-ba-da-ba-da. These are day 43. Let's see, day 40. Oh, maybe no comments on today. Let's see here, hold on. Shred on, 5 minutes on segment. Somehow this got recommended to me. Oh, at Dottie 6 string for day 41. All right, that was a few days ago. Somehow this got recommended to me. I have a tip. If you want to supercharge your practice time, use a metronome a lot in caps. So yes, thank you for that. I recently started adding that in about a week ago to every time I pick up the guitar, have some little segment. So thank you for that. Yes, early on, I was really struggling to get anything hooked up to work. Not to make excuses, but I didn't really have anything to keep some pace and time. So yes. I've even noticed since last Wednesday to today, not even a week, of having dedicated just metronome, just something click, 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 keeps me on pace. So yes, 100%, because that is a major hole in all of my playing. Oh, you gotta go away, brother. I don't mind a little, there we go. Well, sayonara, friend. So yes, thank you for that. And I think that is all the comments for, and again, we're at day 45 Make sure that I'm not a day off. Nope, yeah, we're good. Yesterday was day 44. I'm almost 50. Sometimes the old brain doesn't work like it used to. All right, so hopefully the old iPhone is still cooking. I buried it in drywall dust yesterday. Oh, it's still good. All right, so for Triad Tuesday, I thought it'd be kind of cool. If you were here last week, you remember we have Triad. Get my Troy Statina lead guitar book, which is an awesome book, by the way. I still have been going through that. However, Triad Magic, I stumbled on Amazon. I'm not sponsored or anything like that. Just happened to get that book through the first 2 pages, and that's as far as we got because that sounded really cool and it was an awesome jam session. However, for today and going forward, we're going to be using the Triad book as well. However, just randomly this morning, I was like, I'm going to just ask the old Google AI, what popular rock songs use triads and chords? And it popped up 3 songs. The first 3 was the little search result. Start Me Up by the Rolling Stones, right? And Closer to the Heart, Rush, awesome. And Wait by White Lion. So, and I just printed these off here a few minutes ago. And what I didn't realize, is the tuning for Close to the Heart, standard tuning. White Lion, Wait, standard tuning. These are all tabs, by the way, with the notes, which I'm just, actually no, there's no notes on here. Never mind, just tab. So Start Me Up, which is dropped D or all D. I'm not sure what they really call that. I'm used to calling drop D an E standard tuning and then drop the top string down. I don't necessarily know what they call just a D tuning across all strings. However, had a little Pantera-esque type of jam session a couple of days ago with the Predator because it is still in this dropped D, G, D, G, B, D tuning, which is actually, yeah, it's different. It's a different kind of, you know what, we'll tune it to whatever this is and fiddle with it from there. But I thought it'd be kind of cool each week. This is going to be 3 weeks or more, probably a lot longer than that, just because it's of how slow this process is going. But that's why we're here. That's why we practice. We do this every single day. This isn't my only practice, by the way. I do a morning rudimentary jam in the morning. That's all just finger work with a metronome to build all those dexterity drills. And then this jam session, which is usually about 10 or 15 minutes in total outside of the talking, the comments, and stuff like that. And then while the YouTube's uploading, so that takes like an hour, it takes forever, I jam after this. Some structured and then sometimes not. So that's kind of how the old daily J. Wills routine goes for learning guitar and doing this every day. So with that, so this Closer to the Heart, oh man, this is gonna be terrible. I need to have shades. Gotta have shades. So first I'm gonna do a little jamming just to get the fingers warmed up because I haven't had much of a warm up today. Actually been 0. No, just client consultation. Let's change picks. Let's play around with the tear a little bit. We've got some other tunes that I've been fiddle-diddling with. And this practice, that's why we're here. That's why we fiddle-diddle and do what we do. I'm just gonna fiddle-diddling, so we're gonna go clean channel a little bit. Crank up. It's a little loud. Oh, too loud. Let's try that. Okay, so I don't have this up connected, the song itself actually, but Closer to the Heart by Rush. It's actually a really good song. That is a 506, 706, 406 triad. Let's see what that sounds like. Actually, we don't even need the strap, really, but let's go. All right, so 506, okay. 506. That's definitely not it. Holy shit. Okay, 6 is on the third. Oh, Jesus, we're upside down. That's why. Here we go. That's it. And then same 6. Okay, so it just goes 5, 7. That stays the same than 4. Okay, interesting. So ooh, that's finger gymnastics. Really wish I, you know what I'm gonna do? I don't think I can, because I am so amateur and so torturous with my sounds I make on this guitar. I don't think anyone's gonna care copyright wise if I actually pull this song up. I'm not gonna be too concerned about it. So bear with me while I pull up what that song sounds like, because I need to hear it again. I heard it, like 2 riffs of it this morning, and then I did something different. History, there we go. First one, perfect. Oh, get over to the right side here. Let's go. Here we go. We're gonna go really clean for that. Gotcha. Okay, no worries. Okay, we gotta go super clean for that, like super duper clean. Let's do that then. Oh, wow, okay. It's a fast pick too. Okay. Damn, come on. That is such a stretch, my God. Oh, hold on. Okay, hold on. That's how they're probably doing that. Okay. Jesus, that's a lot of brain just melting right there. Holy cow. Let's go real slow. Oh, jeez. Oof. Oh, it's got to be on the 6. That's why. That is a major stretch. Jesus. Oh, wow. 4 and 6. That is a tough song. Holy cow. But let's try it. That's pretty cool. That is very cool. And then 4, that's just good. That's a beast. That is such a massive, just again, struggle's real when you're old and get back into learning stuff. Holy cow, that struggle's real. It's getting these two to pull off and not have everything just fly off the board. Ay, ay, ay. I'm sure those of you who are out there that can play this, hats off. Such a really good song too, just awesome. But that is finger gymnastics. Ooh-wee. What's that sound like with single coil? It's a lot quieter and probably a little bit more reminiscent of what it actually sounds like. I don't know what kind of guitars they were using, but I suspect it may have been a single coil type of setup. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. That is why we are here. Oof. Come on now. Come on, fingers. You got this. That dead string, I got big old fat fingers and I kill that middle string all the time. dead. Just dead. It is so annoying. Super annoying. Right there. It's like dead. There we go. Ugh. Where's the slide come in? That's 4, 7, 5, 6. Okay. All right. So let's see if I can. What if I kick that up and let that go? Maybe that'll be easier. Jesus. Finger gymnastics. Wow. That is challenging as shit. That is super challenging. Wow. A damn dead string. Man. Struggle's real, folks. That's why we're here. Sometimes they're exciting. Sometimes they're monotonous, just like this. But this is part of the process. Just how it works. Just got to keep repeating it and repeating it until you get it. And then hopefully when you move it, it stays put. Or you drop a finger down, it stays put. Nope. I like the way it sounds with the humbucker setting. It's just me. Just me. That's kind of a cool little run. Let's come back to, and you always got to keep coming back to it. Like I like to struggle, come back to it, or struggle, go away from it for a little bit, try to do something else, come back to it, struggle some more, and just keep going. I wonder if I go up from there. It's the whole, these are just, that struggle's real. Holy cow. Just getting the organization. Unbelievable. Dead again. Oof. Ooh. Oof. Sometimes you gotta go a little harder just to hit the note, but it is what it is. All right, so that is all of 1, 2, 3 triads in a row. So yeah, Triad Tuesdays. Holy cow. Call it struggling Tuesdays from now on. Gee whiz. But that's why we're here. This is the raw, unedited how you learn songs. Holy cow. And if you're old, oof, that struggle's real. That struggle is real. That's like a slide actually. It goes there, but all super fast. All right, let's see if I can change that up to where I can actually, this is the fingering that would make the most sense. Having index, because it's a 506 triad to a 60, so 506 to 706 to 406 on the tab. This is all tab. And it makes the most sense. If I got to go 4, I got 5 and 7 locked. These are the 2, 3 bottom notes I got to hit. And I got to keep that covered, that 3rd string, that G string covered with that. And then it would make the most sense to be able to do this. That just has to get worked out a ton. A lot. All right, so. And this is your first video and you are still listening, you wonderful saint. That struggle is real, and I thank you for following along. All the kind of sounds you can make when you're playing shitty, it's amazing too. That's like could be a whole like another B-side of an album, just all the really funky practice weird sounds you come up with. All the mistakes you make are sounds. They're just a sound that you just don't want to have at the moment, that's all. Dead string. Liven up. Well, we know what that is now, so I don't have to worry about that. I know the sequence. Let's see if we can just somehow get that to flow a little bit better. So, hand gymnastics. I applaud the dudes who came up with this originally, and just like, I mean, they were fiddling around and they came up with it and then just put it together and it sounded amazing. Stay put. Jeez. That's not a bad one. Mileage and consistency, just got to keep at it. Just got to keep rotating, moving, sliding, bending until that string clears up. That's just all there is to it. There's no other fix. Because you go here, it's all muted. Rotate my fingers. Right about there, I got some clearance. We'll take a quick break here in a moment, but I really want to get the gist of this down. That struggle's real. Be nice to be able to pull that down. That goes dead instantly when you do that. Instantly dead. How about a little jam session? Liven things up a bit. Woo! Get a bit intense on the old focus. So let's grab the PV and crank up the gain, because that's just awesome. And then roll from there and see where we're at time-wise. If any of you wonderful folks are actually still listening. Like 24 minutes in. We'll have a little bit of fun with the Predator if I don't kill my Tele trying to get the cable situated here. Rock and roll. But that's why these are live practices. All right, so this the other night sounded awesome. It's in drop tuning. My first time ever fiddling with drop tuning on a guitar, ever. Let me actually move the camera. Just actually, I can probably stand far enough back. Let's see. We'll make it work. Sorry, folks. I have an old ancient iPhone. We're gonna pull it up just a little bit. In the event it cuts off my head. I'll go for another. We'll go like 5 minutes jam, and then day 45 in the bag. One of the practices for today. Kind of does. keep doing that while YouTube's uploading. All right. And with that, all you wonderful guitar souls that are still hanging out and letting me torture your eardrums, thank you. And I do believe day 45 is in the bag. And you know the deal. Peace. See you tomorrow.